Hello, my name is Matthew Unger, and I'm talking today about an article I read that's related to the project I'm doing. It was called Stereotypy in Autism, The Importance of Function, and it was done by Cunningham and Schreibman. Basically what they're doing with this is they're making the case that when we're looking at stereotypy or self-stimulatory behavior, stimming as it's often referred to, that we need to look at more the function of what it's serving rather than just what it looks like. So that's the important point they make, is to look at the function over the form, because usually when we're looking at stimming, we're thinking, okay, it's automatically reinforced and that's the only function that it serves. But they make the argument that it serves a number of different functions. So they're basically saying that when we are creating our interventions to deal with stimming and other related behaviors, if we don't take into consideration the function and just assume that it's automatically reinforced, then our interventions won't really be targeting the behavior that well. So what they did is they looked at the different variables, the stereotypy, and then they also looked at the different functions that it could serve, and they came to the conclusion that basically it served a number of different functions, whether it was self-stimulatory, as is the common one, or if socially mediated behavior. They also had it down as a learned behavior or an operant behavior as well. And basically what they did is they looked at previous studies, and that's kind of one limitation to this study, is that they didn't find their own subjects and observe them and determine the function of the behavior from that, but they went back and they looked at different studies and they kind of codified them to decide, okay, this looks like this is serving this function, whereas this is serving this function in this case. So that's one limitation to the study, but they did find they had enough results to basically conclude that the self-stimulatory behavior does sometimes have a different function than it being automatically reinforced, and that because of that we do need to change the way that we create our interventions around it. And so I wanted to look at this study because I thought that's an important thing. I think when you're dealing with any behavior, is making sure that you're looking at the function and not taking for granted that even though it looks like it's doing this one thing, it could serve an entirely different purpose. And when I created my intervention for this project, I wanted to make sure that I was really able to target what was behind it so that I could have some success.